Chris and Shanann Watts seemed to have the life that many admired. A new home in a quiet neighborhood in Frederick, Colorado. Two little girls who were full of life and joy. And Shanann was expecting a baby boy they had already named Nico. On the surface, it was the American dream. Smiles on Facebook, family vacations, and holiday photos gave the impression of a happy marriage. But what appeared perfect to the world was not the reality behind closed doors. Shanann was an open book. She was active on social media, posting daily about her life and her children. Friends described her as strong, loving, and hardworking. She shared her health journey, her struggles, and her triumphs. She wanted people to know they were not alone in their battles. To her friends and followers, Shanann seemed unstoppable, a mother who adored her children and a wife who poured everything into her marriage. Chris, by contrast, was quiet and reserved. He came across as gentle, the supportive husband who worked long hours in the oil fields. But beneath that calm exterior, Chris was carrying secrets that Shanann never fully saw coming. He had begun an affair, and instead of walking away from his marriage honestly, he began weaving a web of lies. His outward silence hid an inner storm. To neighbors, he was the helpful, easygoing man next door. But to investigators later, he became the picture of deception. On the morning of August 13, 2018, Shanann's friend Nicole grew worried. Shanann had missed a medical appointment. Calls went unanswered. Nicole went to the Watts home and noticed Shanann's car was still in the driveway. Inside the house, Shanann's purse, phone, and keys were left behind. It made no sense. To a mother of two, those items were essentials that no one would ever leave behind. Nicole contacted the police, and officers quickly arrived to check on the family. Chris appeared cooperative, but something about his demeanor seemed unusual. He claimed Shanann had taken the girls and left, but the evidence in front of them suggested otherwise. As news spread, Chris appeared on local television. He pleaded for their safe return, saying he wanted his family back. His words sounded convincing to some, but others noticed how emotionless he appeared. Neighbors and viewers alike felt something was off. His body language told a different story than his words. His arms folded, his eyes shifting away, his tone lacking urgency. All of it painted a portrait of a man saying what he thought people wanted to hear, not what a desperate father would cry out. Investigators moved quickly. They spoke with neighbors, reviewed security footage, and built a timeline. One neighbor's camera showed Chris backing his truck into the garage early that morning, something he had never done before. Detectives also noticed how Chris's story shifted each time he was questioned. One version contradicted the other, and the calmness he carried seemed unnatural given the circumstances. Soon, Chris was asked to take a polygraph test. Confident he could deceive it, he agreed. But the results showed clear deception. When investigators confronted him, the mask began to slip. He tried to create another lie, blaming Shanann for harming the girls. But the evidence told a different story. Detectives pressed harder, and Chris finally confessed. He admitted to strangling Shanann after an argument. He then turned on his daughters, Bella and Celeste. In one of the most haunting details, Bella is said to have cried out, "Daddy, no!" as he ended her young life. That single moment, a child recognizing danger from the very person who should protect them, broke the hearts of investigators and later the entire nation. After killing them, Chris drove their bodies to his worksite. Shanann was buried in a shallow grave, and the girls were placed inside crude oil tanks. The brutality of the crime shocked even seasoned investigators. The arrest came quickly. Chris was charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder. The case drew national attention. Media outlets reported every new development, and the community struggled to make sense of how a seemingly devoted father could destroy his entire family. In court, Chris faced Shanann's family, who wept as they heard the charges. He eventually accepted a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. The judge sentenced him to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole. He would never walk free again. The aftermath of the case continued long after the trial ended. Documentaries, podcasts, and news programs examined the details. In 2020, Netflix released American Murder: The Family Next Door, piecing together Shanann's social media, police body cam footage, and text messages. Millions around the world watched the case unfold in real time. It served as a chilling reminder of how appearances can be deceiving. Today, Shanann's family continues to honor her memory and the memory of Bella, Celeste, and Nico. Candlelight vigils and memorials keep their names alive. Their story is a painful lesson about betrayal, hidden secrets, and the dangers of ignoring warning signs. The Watts case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. How well do we really know the people closest to us? How can someone who appears loving on the outside harbor such darkness within? The Watts family murders shocked the nation, but beyond the tragedy lies a reminder that the truth always finds its way to the surface. No matter how carefully lies are crafted, reality cannot remain hidden forever. Chris Watts will spend the rest of his life behind bars, while the memory of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and unborn baby Nico lives on in the hearts of those who love them. What do you think really pushed Chris Watts to commit this unimaginable act? Do you believe there were warning signs the family missed? Could this tragedy have been prevented if someone had spoken up sooner? And what lessons do we learn when even the closest relationships can hide the darkest secrets? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories from the vault.